Hello everyone, Triple S back here with some more Sakura Fantasy Chapter 1, and I apologise that it has taken me so long to get back to recording some more of this, but anyway, here we go! We should be jumping right into the Mayas now. It was a long trip from the capital to the walls. To the switch drops down the guards at the walls had pleaded with us not to leave, but that obviously wasn't something we could do. The green grassy plains quickly gave way to sickly and disgusting swamp. All this filth and decay that I'm walking through now, it's strangely familiar. I can't quite remember where I have seen anything like this before, though. Thick, sickly looking undergrowth creeps across fetid ground. It's as if the plants are swallowing the very land with their withered growth. Merely taking a step is enough to make your blood turn to ice. The squelching noise that echoes from stepping on the ground is nauseating. The vines hanging in front of my face seem to have warts and cysts growing on them. Everything about this place is dark, damp and disgusting. The sun barely makes it through the canopy, giving us only a few rays of light to see where we're walking. I can't help but notice that it feels like we're being watched too. Whenever I went to the gardens in the capital, they were always bursting with life and animals. Here, everything is silent. It's as if the entire forest is dead. Yet I was told that there were all kinds of beasts that wandered the Mayas. Are they all hiding from us, or can we simply not see them in the dark undergrowth? Kira seems to not be so worried by her surroundings, though. Looking at her push forward fearlessly renews my own resolve. Gwen isn't coping so well, though. Everything here feels wrong. It's all filthy and cankerous. I knew the books I read described this as a sickness, but it's different to see it in person. All this foul mud and slime and vines and insects. It will be all, keep pushing forward. Just keep pushing forward, Gwen. We'll make it. Stop talking. Spend more time listening. Kira's acting as the instructor once again. We try to follow the path Kira makes for us through the mud, but even then it's hard work. Gwen seems to be having the most trouble with it. All those skipped training sessions to attend her scholarly duties have caught up with her. Her armour is coated in mud and other foul substances. She looks absolutely miserable. So much mud. Why must there be so much mud? Kira barely looks back when she responds. Because it's swampland. While that's true, she could be a bit more sympathetic than that. Come on, Gwyn. You'll be fine. There'll be lots of hot baths when you get home. My words only seem to make her more unhappy. When will we get home, then? When we retrieve the star. The Empress wouldn't be pleased if we returned without it. Hearing that really upsets Gwen. But she does her best to not show it. She doesn't want to falter before we even get there. I would trade my noble birth for some courage right now. Don't worry, Kira and I are here. You're going to be fine. That comforts her a little bit, just enough for her to keep going. It's going to be a very long trip for all of us, I think. We have to keep our spirits up if we're going to make it to the star. We don't even know if it actually landed in the Mayas either. It was somewhere far to the north, I'm not sure how far. There hasn't been anyone who's ventured beyond the Mayas in a very long time. It's unknown what lies beyond this foul swamp. What if there's even darker places waiting for us ahead of this rancid forest? As we walk along, something splatters me in the face, causing me to stop. My earphone is falling out, even though there's only just like a bit of music. Whatever it is, it's slimy and cold. Oh, wiping it away from my eyes, I look down at myself. It's some kind of slime. And it's moving by itself. Thick goo begins to creep its way up my legs. Get off me right now! My words don't seem to matter to it, though. Its advance doesn't stop for a single moment. Panic sets in and I desperately try to scrape it off. Gwyn and Kira have already walked ahead. They can't help me now. It does not seem to help, however. What? It's already up to my thighs and quickly gaining more ground. More great globs of slime pile onto me, seemingly emerging from out of nowhere. As it begins to envelop me, I can feel a tingling sensation across my skin. To my horror, I realise that the slime is devouring my clothes. Small patches of cloth begin to dissolve in front of my eyes, leaving my skin completely uncovered. My armour plates are also being eaten. I have to get this off me, now! I can't lose my armour. But as I plunge my hands into it in an attempt to get it off, all it does is move around them and get an even stronger grip on me. Now my hands are bound by slime. What remains of my armour begins to rapidly dissolve as the slime gets a firmer grip on my body. Bit by bit the cloth disappears, followed by the metal plates. No matter how hard I try to struggle against it, it's to no avail. Attempting to fight it only seems to cause it to cling to me even tighter. I can't help but shiver as more and more of the translucent slime piles onto me. It's crawling across my chest now, eating my armour it finds along the way. My entire body is enveloped by goo now. I can feel it moving across every inch of my skin. This is such an embarrassing experience. I can't stop myself from blushing as I feel it crawling all over me. I can hold no secrets from this slime. It won't stop until it finds absolutely everything it can devour. What's even worse is that I can't stop it. All I can do is wait until it's done. It's not long before most of my skin is bare. All of the items on my belt have been eaten too. A long time passes before the slime finally lets me go. I can't tell how many times it crawled all over me before it finally gave up on finding more food. Once it disappears back into the ground, the only thing I have left to cover myself with is my hands. It didn't even leave me with any weapons. Now that I'm completely nude and sprawling in the mud, I've only just realised how cold it is in the mires. My entire body is quaking from the chilly air. It's strange to feel so cold, yet my face is so warm from blushing. Kira, go ahead. Is anyone out there? Raylin, what are you? She stops and averts her eyes as she captures a glimpse of my nude form. Raylin! For a moment she struggles to find what she wants to say. I hope there's a good explanation for this. Gwen quickly follows from behind. She opens her mouth to say something but thinks better of it. This might be a problem. So what happened to you? Did you decide to take off your armour for some reason? A slime ate my armour. A slime? Oh, those slimes. I remember those foul things myself. I told you there were monsters which destroyed armour out here. Luckily the slimes aren't that dangerous beyond that. What you encountered was a cloth eater. For whatever reason, it has an appetite for leather and cloth, not to mention carrion. Kind of like those moths which nest in clothing. Never mind that. I don't need an explanation for it. Just, does anyone have any spare clothing? It's so cold. Relax, Raylin. I told you that I'd prepare ahead of time. After all, I was the one who warned you about this. How do you know about the slimes anyway, Gwen? In an old book I own. This isn't relevant. Please, can you give me anything to wear? Anything at all? Even if it's just an old sack. Reaching into her bag, she pulls out a fresh change of armour. It's a big pack. It's tailored exactly like my old armour. I'm not really sure how she got a spare pair of armour for me, but I'm not about to complain. I immediately pull all of it on, not willing to stand naked in the cold mire air. Thank you so much. Why didn't you say something earlier? That's what I want to know. The slime covered my mouth before I could say anything. Believe me, I tried to get your attention. It stopped me from moving too. It's true, the slimes do bind things before they devour them. I think it would be best if Kira stays up the back for now. Agreed, if anything snares me, I know how to deal with it. You really had me worried there, Raylin. Please be more careful. I'm sorry, it just happened so fast. Well, you should be even faster then. Come on, we've wasted more than enough time here. Oh, she got naked. Ooh. Took us hours to find shelter. Trekking through this place alone is incredibly tiring. It's not quite as bad as doing guard duty in the castle though. After a while, we eventually managed to find a mountain pocketed with hollow caverns. The storm was upon us by the time nightfall came. Thick, thundering clouds enveloped the mountains and drowned the land beneath it in torrential rain. Given how the mires were already swampland, I wouldn't be surprised if there's going to be a flood. I just had to hope for the best. Kira checked and double-checked the cavern we had chosen until she was happy to stay there. You can never be certain of what might be lurking here, she kept repeating to herself. I'm glad to be somewhere dry though. Maybe not somewhere warm. We were barely able to get a fire started due to the rain and how damp the mires naturally are. All the wood here, despite being brittle and dead, has been soaked thoroughly in the rain. Something about the wood here also gives a sinister glow to the fire. I swear that I see a green aura around it. Shivering in the cold, all three of us huddled around the fire trying to warm ourselves. I'd love a hot bath right now. You've only been out here for one day, Gwen. You can't be quitting already. Sorry. Gwen is a lover of her comfortable things, her warm baths, her soft pillow. So she's really out of her element. Right now, she's writing away in one of the many blank books she took with her. She must be writing down her observations of the Mayas while she's been here. We haven't stopped long enough for her to take a closer inspection of the plant life, though. It seems to keep her happy, though. It's been a long day, and writing seems to be a way for her to relax. Kira, on the other hand, looks extremely paranoid. She glances this way and another, seemingly jumping at the shadows. Being in this place makes her edgy. Very edgy. I still don't understand why, though. She's been here before, but what happened is still a mystery to me. Just remains... She's okay. You okay, Kira? You've been on edge the entire time we've been here. I've noticed that too. Never pays to be complacent in the Mayas. Last time I was here, everything we did went wrong somehow. It was far too frequent for it to be bad luck. So either this entire forest was against us, or there was something else lurking in here which was interfering with our expedition. That tiny compass isn't going to be enough if we want to navigate this place. Though, I do not wish to belittle the boon from the Empress herself. Extra precautions in case of unforeseen problems are always important. Ooh, thunder. I can understand what she's talking about. The Mayas do feel like the kind of place where precautions like this would be necessary. We haven't seen any of the beasts which roam these lands yet. If that's a good thing or a bad thing, I can't tell. The beasts in the Mayas are one thing, but becoming lost in this place, that is what kills most scouting parties who enter here. Quietly, she stares into the embers, looking deep in thought. Listen, I think it's time you two both know what happened when I was last out here. Looking at Gwyn, I hesitate at the idea. Her previous experiences here were traumatic, so I don't know if it would be wise for her to talk about it now. Kira notices my hesitation immediately. It's fine, Raylin. Gwyn knows that something happened too. We know each other a lot better than you would think. I hadn't thought of that, but that would be true. Gwyn is her favourite novice, after all. Looking back to her, Gwyn just gives me a knowing smile. So it's obvious that I've been here before. Ooh. Oh, she's crying! It was part of an expedition to try and push back the Mayas. The blight that changes the land can be cured with the right methods. By cutting back the forest and reclaiming the soil, we could begin the purification rites. My sister was there too. She was far younger than me, little more than a child. I had taken her on the expedition, as she had no one to look after her while I was away. Definitely one of my most terrible mistakes. Though she tries to force herself to talk, I can see tears forming in her eyes. Our parents had died a long time ago, so it fell on me to protect her. I had practically fought to bring her on the expedition because I knew I couldn't leave her alone in the capital. So everything was going fine for a while. There were no incidents, we reclaimed large swaths of land and no one had died. But one night, right before it was time to sleep, I found that my sister was missing. Children have a tendency to wander, so I didn't worry so much about it. Though I looked all around our camp, I couldn't find her. Then, I heard laughter coming from within the forest. Her laughter. Her laughter? I wasn't thinking straight at the time. Charging into the Mayas was a terrible idea. But I couldn't ignore my sister's laughter. I couldn't leave her alone inside that rotting place. So blindly, I charged in there. I brought no light with me, so I was just following the sound of her laughter. Stumbling through the dark, blindly waving my sword around. After a while, the sound of her laughter seemed to echo from everywhere. No matter how much I ran, I still couldn't get any closer to its source. I was too tired to even move by the time the dawn came. Even in the morning light, all I could do was stumble through the Mayas. I tried to set markers or anything I could to keep track of my progress. But it was all for naught. The very trees seemed to shift to make me lose track of where I was. Worst of all, I could still hear my sister's laughter in the undergrowth. Then the beasts came for me to take my life. It took me weeks to make it out of there, the foul things I had to eat, the tainted water I had to drink. If it weren't for my gift, I would have died out there. By the time I made it back, the entire expedition was missing, and the foul forest was creeping its way back across the land. I was the only survivor, somehow. To this day, I don't know what happened to my sister. She couldn't be alive after all this time, though. Even with my gift, the forest nearly killed me. So to come here like this, it's almost like I'm walking in a graveyard. I could not think of a worse place for someone to die than inside the Mayas. Silently, tears began to trickle from her eyes. She's barely composed now, merely a step away from sobbing. I wish we weren't inside this cave. At least my tears could be hidden in the rain. I honestly don't know what to say to her. The fact that she still came after knowing what she was going to face. Now you know about it. That is why I care so much about my novices. Every single one of you is precious to me. I can never allow myself to be so careless again. You have no idea. I keep talking too quickly. You have no idea how much you two mean to me. If you never came back. No, I can't think like that. That is why I decided to come, despite knowing what is here. I can't let you disappear into this horrible place like my sister did. How did you not lose your mind when you were stuck out here? I almost did. To listen to your sister's laughter endlessly and not be able to do anything. It was even worse when the laughter became screams. When I stumbled out of there, I could barely tell what was real and what was a delusion. Fortunately, I managed to make it back to the wall and get treatment. After that day, I dedicated myself to nurturing and protecting warriors younger than myself. Ardina herself came to see me when I made it home. She congratulated me on making out alive and ensured that I could live comfortably after what had happened. But life after my sister, it wasn't ever going to be the same. As much as I try to bury myself in trading, I can't get rid of this grief. It will remain with me forever. I cannot run from it nor deny it. The only way I could escape it is if I forgot about her. And I would sooner die than forget. Sometimes I like to imagine that she somehow found a way out. That she's somewhere safe, like in the capital or, I don't know, just somewhere. It's only deluding myself from the truth though. You can't stop hoping. She might have made it out alive. The alternative is to despair and mourn. I have to agree with Raylin. She might still be out there, Kara. However unlikely it is, do not give up. It takes some time for Kara to collect herself again. All I can do is prod the burning embers of the fire while we wait. She isn't alone in her trauma now. We can help her carry the burden of her memories. That will only make us stronger as we make our way to the star. I can also understand why she doesn't like being watched now. During all that time spent in the mires, she would have had to constantly look over her shoulder. If she weren't paranoid, then she would be dead. No wonder she was upset with me when it came to my farseeing. She doesn't like having unseen eyes watching her. In all honesty, I'm surprised that she wasn't outright hostile towards me. You two sound far older than you look, you know. When did I train such wise novices? I'm not a novice, remember? I got a promotion. Come on, surely you've worked out that it isn't a promotion by now. Thank you both. It was never easy to carry this alone. After we lost our parents, it always fell on me to bear our burdens. I guess I've learned not to rely on others. But I have you two now. And I have no intention of losing either of you out there. Out here, out there, anywhere. So don't wander too far in my sight, okay? You sound like my mother used to. She must have been a kind woman. Gwen's face lights up as she thinks of an idea. What was your sister's name, Kira? Lavenna. Why do you want to know? I know we told you not to give up, but in case the worst happens, why don't we make a memorial for her? I appreciate the thought of Gwen, but it would be a waste of our time. We cannot afford to stop for such trivial things. Where would we even put a memorial anyway? There's no place that this accursed forest doesn't swallow up. It's enough to know that we might be able to reclaim these lands one day. My sister would appreciate that most, I think. To clean up this grey site and replace it with rolling fields of green. Yes, that is what we will aim to do when we finally destroy this blight. Let its whole forest be her memorial. And of the star, the Empress has made it clear to us that it's important. What if it's going to lead to the salvation of our lands? I just don't know. I wish I knew what the star meant. But the only way we're going to find out is if we bring it back to her. I need to know too. It's been driving me insane over the last month. I have to agree. Pardon me. I plan to record our findings when we reach the star. This could be a historical find. That is, if it's not raining when we get there. Miserably, she stares out at the cave mouth watching the rain pelt down. Curse that rain. This is the only chance I've had to write down anything. I'm afraid that it's more important that we're all well rested. Your writing is going to have to wait. Raylin, you're first on night watch duty. Gwen, trying to stay polite. I can't argue with her on that. Both of them settle near the fire, huddling as close as they can to stay warm. This is going to be a long night. Oh! Okay, so we finally figured out what was happening all this time with Kira. she lost her sister in the mires. Holy hell, that's really bad. And we experience some particularly perverted slime. And I can't talk. So anyway, thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time for some more Sakura Fantasy Chapter 1. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Good. Bye. No. Ah! Foxy!
You run out of time if you want to see her again. Again, idiot.
I get a photo with you. You signed some autographs for my kids. And two for me, of course. Ah! I can't believe I'm standing this close to Vinci. Ah!